When George Washington defended his country, without him, you can imagine what the world would look like. Guess what? We got the second George Washington. Congratulations!
I guess those punches Rocky took to the head were real after all. George Washington was the father of our country. Donald Trump is the father of Eric. Big difference there.
Sylvester Stallone has officially reached his breaking point, and Hollywood is buzzing with shock. The legendary actor, known for his grit and resilience, just delivered a brutal blow to Jimmy Kimmel, leaving the late-night host reeling. Kimmel thought mocking Stallone on live television would be harmless, but it turned into a career disaster. The tension began when Stallone was set to appear on Jimmy Kimmel Live to promote his projects, The Family Stallone and Tulsa King. Fans were thrilled, since Stallone rarely makes late-night appearances, making this a rare and exciting opportunity. But reports say some people think they're bigger than the industry itself. Guess lifting weights makes you immune to progress. Kimmel personally pressured ABC to cancel Stallone's guest spot because their political views didn't align. Instead of staying professional, Kimmel chose to let his bias lead the way. The situation took an uglier turn when Kimmel mocked Stallone during a live segment. His comments weren't clever, they weren't funny. They were cheap shots delivered with a condescending tone. Viewers instantly recognized it wasn't comedy at all. It was a personal jab. Fans erupted with outrage, flooding social media with criticism.
Remember in the Academy Awards, I said how he's the worst host in the history of the Academy Awards, and this stupid guy goes up, and just before the Best Picture of the Year, the show is almost over. They're waiting for the Best Picture of the Year. He gets up and he says, and his wife said, please don't do it. His manager said, don't do it. I have to do it. He goes out and reads my truth, and it said basically, he is the worst host in the history. He reads the whole thing.
He's confusing me with one of his sons again. Wow, do you think he's flirting with me? What is this? When I die, I would like that to be the clip they play at the Emmys in memoriam montage. He even worked my wife in there. Should I be worried that Trump has mentioned my wife more times at his rallies this year than his own?
Kimmel's troubles didn't stop there. His show has been steadily losing viewers for years, and this scandal only accelerated the decline. Jimmy Kimmel Live was once a staple of late-night entertainment, but now it's circling the drain. Why? Audiences are tired of his endless political rants. Instead of providing lighthearted fun, Kimmel dives into divisive topics that alienate viewers who just want to laugh. Unlike Jimmy Fallon, who fills his show with games, music, and celebrity antics, Kimmel seems obsessed with lecturing his audience. Jimmy Kimmel can joke about Stallone all he wants, but it's clear who's actually standing up for creativity. Stallone built Hollywood classics. He deserves better than this. During the 2020 election, Fallon was singing duets with pop stars, while Kimmel was scolding viewers like a substitute teacher. The result? Fans switched channels, and the ratings prove it. By 2023, Kimmel's numbers had plummeted so badly that even Greg Gutfeld, a Fox host known for his quirky humor and internet-inspired bits, was beating him in the ratings. For someone who once ruled late-night TV, it was humiliating. The comparison was brutal. Kimmel losing to a guy who started out making jokes about cats on Reddit. But the problem isn't just Kimmel, it's a reflection of the crumbling state of legacy media. Late-night TV, once a nightly tradition for millions, is now fading fast. Younger audiences have abandoned it for platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and podcasts, places where the content feels real, fresh, and unfiltered. The Stallone incident poured gasoline on that fire. Critics began labeling it the final nail in the coffin for Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Okay, my big muscular friend, I saw you the other night on Jimmy Kimmel, kind of making fun of me. Telling the whole world about how you tricked me into doing the worst movie ever made? Nah. Does it bother me? Nah. Is it burnt into my memory like a horrible scar? Nah. Well, maybe just a little bit. So anyway, as you know, I write, which is something you don't. Oh, did I say that? And I've decided to write a sequel called, for you, called Stop or Your Grandmother Will Beat Your Ass. And I will be directing and producing and mocking it all the way through. Anyway, you keep punching, big guy, and good luck with your film.
ABC executives, already under pressure, were forced to reconsider Kimmel's future with the network. Insiders whispered that Disney, which owns ABC, was fed up with the negative attention. With Kimmel's contract set to expire in 2026, they might be eyeing a younger, fresher host to replace him, someone who can actually connect with today's audience. It wasn't about Stallone's star power. He's a legend. It was about not knowing what he might say on live TV. In another conversation, Stallone called out the culture of exclusion, saying, "Hollywood has always been about pushing limits, but now it feels like the limits are shrinking. Artistry is being replaced by what's trending, and if you don't follow the script, you're out." His message struck a chord with viewers who believe today's Hollywood cares more about conformity than creativity. Stallone's rejection of ABC's desperate apology came at the worst possible time for Kimmel. Fans saw it as pure karma. "This is what happens when you put politics over people," one tweet declared. Another wrote, "Kimmel thought he could mock Stallone and walk away. Turns out Stallone landed the knockout punch instead." The symbolism wasn't lost on anyone. Stallone has built his entire career on comebacks and resilience, while Kimmel's show looks like it's on its last legs. Clips of Kimmel's segment spread like wildfire, and the comments under them were brutal. Many viewers said his words showcased everything wrong with modern late-night TV. When did we decide it's okay to silence people just because they think differently? That's not creativity, that's conformity. Too much politics, not enough entertainment. One person wrote, "This isn't comedy, it's bitterness disguised as a joke."
Something was going to happen. This man was going to go through a metamorphosis and change lives, just like President Trump. And I'll just say this, and I mean it. When George Washington defended his country, he had no idea that he was going to change the world. Because without him, you can imagine what the world would look like. Guess what?
Even casual viewers who weren't Stallone's superfans joined in, agreeing the behavior crossed the line. Critics piled on, calling the incident a glaring example of how late-night television is alienating its audience. Some described it as a catastrophic misstep that revealed cracks in legacy media's foundation. Kimmel's attempt to tear Stallone down didn't just fail, it blew up in his face spectacularly. ABC executives soon felt the heat. Ratings for Jimmy Kimmel Live dropped sharply in the days following the incident, sparking panic behind the scenes. It wasn't just a dip in numbers, it was a serious decline that pushed the network into crisis mode. For a show already struggling to compete with digital alternatives, the Stallone fiasco became a major problem. In desperation, ABC reached out to Stallone directly. They issued an apology and even begged him to return, promising complete freedom to speak his mind on the show, something almost unheard of on such a controlled platform. Insiders revealed the network even offered him future collaborations to sweeten the deal. One executive admitted, "We messed up. Stallone's absence made Kimmel look worse." But Stallone wasn't interested. To him, the apology seemed less like respect and more like desperate damage control. His team made it clear he wouldn't play along. especially when it was obvious they were only trying to protect Kimmel's reputation and stop the ratings collapse. Fans rallied behind Stallone's decision, praising him for standing firm. One social media user wrote, "They only want him back because they're losing money, not because they regret what they did." Others echoed the sentiment, saying ABC's apology was too little, too late. Behind the scenes, chaos erupted at ABC.
If you get close, I will break your jaw. I mean, I'm just telling you right now. I don't want to hurt you. I like you. You're tall, good looking. But you're now.
Stop! Ow!
This is what it said to do.
Producers scrambled to find replacements for Stallone, but even big-name guests were turning Kimmel down. Some actors with differing political views reportedly refused to appear at all, exposing just how desperate the network had become. Stallone, meanwhile, stood tall. From Rocky to Rambo, he has spent decades inspiring audiences with stories of resilience and determination. He isn't just another Hollywood star. He's a symbol of perseverance, someone who rose from humble beginnings to become a cultural icon. His characters mirror real struggles, making his connection to fans deeply personal. So when Kimmel mocked Stallone, it cut deeper than a simple joke. It felt like disrespecting a man whose work defined hope and grit for millions. Fans didn't hold back when it came to defending Stallone. One wrote, "Stallone's movies taught me to never quit. What has Kimmel ever done besides mock people?" Another added, "Rocky always got knocked down, but came back stronger." Kimmel's career is down for the count, and no one's cheering for him to get back up. Social media lit up with memes comparing Stallone's iconic training montages to Kimmel's most embarrassing on-air moments. One viral post read, "Stallone inspires millions. Kimmel inspires channel changing." The message was crystal clear. This wasn't just about jokes, it was about respect. For decades, Stallone treated his fans with dignity, both on-screen and off. Kimmel's attack felt cheap, mean-spirited, and completely unnecessary.
They don't even allow these today because they're so dangerous. But that's what they used when I did the film. I still have them because it's a time when people were tougher. Sorry, they were. When we force ourselves into tough situations, that's what the human creature is supposed to do. They're not supposed to have wheels on their suitcases. It's a convenience, no question, but it just makes things easier. Now with AI, you can literally put your brain in a pickle jar and have that machine do it. I cherish these moments. I cherish hard work. Even though I hate it, I know it's like strong medicine. It tastes horrible going down, but it makes you feel better.
Viewers pointed out that his jokes weren't clever satire. They were personal insults dressed up as comedy. Even those who rarely watch Stallone's films recognized that you don't mock someone who has built such a legendary reputation. "He's Hollywood royalty," one viewer commented, "and Kimmel isn't even worthy of being called a court jester." Meanwhile, Stallone is thriving. He's not clinging to Hollywood's outdated rules or begging for airtime on crumbling late-night platforms. Instead, he's embracing new media where authenticity reigns. His appearances on The Joe Rogan Experience and even The Greg Gutfeld Show prove that fans want to hear him in spaces where real conversation is valued. Joe Rogan pulls in millions of viewers per episode because his content is raw and unfiltered, and Stallone fits perfectly into that atmosphere. Audiences are tired of scripted interviews and predictable jokes. They want honesty, and Stallone is giving it to them. Behind the curtains at ABC, panic continued to grow. Producers were scrambling for solutions, but their options were limited. Big-name stars were hesitant to appear, fearing association with a sinking show. The Stallone fiasco revealed a reality executives didn't want to admit. Kimmel's brand was becoming toxic. Every new guest cancellation added fuel to the fire, signaling that even Hollywood insiders were distancing themselves. For a network built on polished image control, this kind of chaos was unprecedented. Meanwhile, Stallone didn't even flinch. Instead of entertaining damage control deals, he focused on his fans and projects. His dedication to his audience was obvious. Whether through acting, interviews, or new media appearances, he consistently delivered substance and respect.
Jimmy Kimmel's a loser. I do Jimmy Kimmel. I did him a lot.
Yeah.
And he'd be standing on the sidewalk. Oh, sir, may I bring you in? He'd bring me in every time. The whole show is talking bad about Trump.
He called us doofuses when we had you on.
He's a group of doofuses in flat-brimmed hats.
Guess what? We did
Ask him how many.
5x what he did. We did
Ask him.
5x
Yeah,
what
you
he's-
do bigger. Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. His show's dying.
People admired the way he carried himself through controversy, staying grounded when others would have lashed out. That kind of composure only strengthened his legacy. For Kimmel, the contrast couldn't be more painful. Once viewed as witty and sharp, his reputation is now defined by bitterness and political rants. Viewers are tuning out because the humor is gone. Late-night television was built on laughs and charm, but Kimmel replaced it with lectures and division. Instead of entertaining, he alienated, and when he tried to use Stallone as a target, it showed just how out of touch he has become. Respect Stallone continued trending, while Cancel Kimmel lingered across platforms. Fans weren't just defending their idol, they were protesting a style of television that no longer works. Every meme, every video clip, every post carried the same energy. Kimmel is finished. Disney executives couldn't ignore it. Insiders reported heated debates about whether to cut ties with Kimmel before his contract runs out. The network, struggling to stay relevant with younger audiences, recognized that clinging to a host drowning in controversy was a losing game. Replacing him suddenly seemed less like a risk and more like a necessity. For Stallone, the victory was symbolic. He didn't need to fight back with words. His silence and rejection were enough. Fans recognized it as the ultimate power move. Instead of engaging in pettiness, he walked away, leaving Kimmel and ABC scrambling. In Hollywood, that kind of strength is rare, and it only amplified his legendary status. In the end, Stallone didn't just win a feud, he exposed a broken system. He proved that real respect still matters, and that audiences will rally behind those who earn it. For Kimmel, the scandal may mark the beginning of the end. For Stallone, it's another triumph in a career built on resilience.